I have 4 with me tonight. I'm going to make a very quick video because it's conceivable that I'm being unreasonable. This morning, there's Perry. Who's going off into the woods, of course. And there's Poppy, and there's Pixie, and Percy's around here somewhere too. Pansy, I know, is in the house. So for the last day or so, I have been inundated, like I said, by people that are yapping up a storm on one of my old videos, who are either people with borderline personality disorder, or some who claim they're both borderline and avoidant, and some who claim they aren't borderline themselves, but they are activists on behalf of people they know that are borderline. And they feel pretty strongly that anything I say is quote-unquote damaging because people with borderline personality disorder quote-unquote suffer. And so I'm making people upset when I'm shutting them down because they want to take over and run rampant through the channel. And, I don't know if you've ever seen any mental health forum websites. I used to be on them all the time. And the reason why I stopped interacting with people there is because they were constantly at the rate of maybe 5 to 1 or higher. It was borderline people claiming to be avoidants. And they were doing it for one of two reasons. Either they were trying to befriend people and basically get a captive audience, because avoidant people never leave. And how they would do that is start talking to you for like 2 seconds and then start with the 50 million private messages so that nobody would know what was going on. Or they're basically trying not to take responsibility for themselves and say, my therapist is wrong. I'm not borderline, I'm avoidant. Because it's difficult to do dialectical behavioral therapy. It's more difficult for somebody with borderline than it was for me, and I had a terrible time doing it. My problem was I don't have a relationship, so I can't really do any of the homework that they required of me. Their issue was, here come the cats, that, can you see him? No, well, you can see his eyes. Anyway, the issue with the borderline people was, it was basically rebuilding them from the ground up, which is the point, to get them to be able to take control of themselves and act in a way that's not just by the whims of whatever borderline thought comes through their head, and be menace to anybody that's in their life. Well, the fact that I'm saying it like this, I think, well, one, that's not the, oh, I'm going to take care of you, you sweet little baby, that they're expecting. There's problem number one. I'm very blunt and I'm very curt, and these are the facts, and that's it. It is fact. I know it's hard. I also know they should do it, all of them. And they can do it, all of them, if they want to be decent people. That's the type of vocabulary that I guess is like, they don't like it. Well, guess what? It's my channel. Oops, what's Perry doing down there? These guys are going through their garden. I have a feeling they have catnip or something. Spearmint, maybe. Something that attracts cats in their garden. Hello, Percy. You're not doing a good job of camouflaging tonight. Poppy. And up there's Pixie. At the end of those steps. And there's Perry. Pansy is in the house. Anyway, I said this was going to be short. I think I lied. In a nutshell, this channel is not, daisies and sunshine and everybody be nice and everybody is welcome and accepted and we will make no limits on anybody and you can go absolutely crazy with whatever thing is driving you nuts and you can just be as nutty as you want. No. I mean, people aren't usually. But that's how they are in the forums. I mean, if anything, generally they make people worse because they encourage them to be as out there as possible. And, they give them support and blah, blah, blah. That's not my way. I would rather help somebody and help them to change for the better, and it's sort of like why I sort of throw myself down and let you guys see just how bad it can get for me. Because I try really hard, and sometimes it's really hard to do it. I try really hard to come out in the end and say, okay, this is what I learned, and this is how maybe you can do something better and have an easier experience having avoidant personality disorder. That's the point. The point is not to coddle somebody. The point is to help people to change and to educate them. And again, as far as I'm concerned, this channel is for people with avoidant personality disorder. Absolutely, bar none. Pops, get out of the street. And that was probably a cop, right? No, miracle, not a cop. Anyway, yes, people can be educated, and if you are a family member of somebody with avoidant personality disorder, go ahead and listen to what I'm saying and maybe learn something. But if you're a family member and you're trying to say, oh my God, this person is driving me crazy, I am not going to be on your side. Ever. I am going to always champion a person with avoidant personality disorder. Period. That's the point of this channel. And I really don't care if it hurts somebody's feelings. I really don't care if people who are used to having everybody walking on eggshells and doing everything they can to make them feel better, because if they don't do that, they're going to suddenly have an episode and explode. Funny, these explosions that people have only happen when they aren't getting exactly what they want. I call it a tantrum. People don't like that. I lived with a toddler. Tantrums are when you don't get what you want. So if the borderline symptoms only happen because they're not being coddled and getting everything they want, then I don't think that's a borderline symptom. I think they're acting the way they do when they are having borderline attack in order to control and manipulate people. Right? Okay, so this is actually a real poll. This is the point of this video. Am I being too harsh with my absolute avoidant people come first here stance? Maybe I am. Maybe I should coddle anybody that comes by. You know, I mean, I can't stand the idea that people in comments are going to say absolute garbage and spread lies about avoidant personality disorder. Oh, God, what was the one I heard today? Oh, that people with avoidant personality disorder always paint everybody with the same brush. This was a response to a comment that I made where I literally, in that comment, made a distinction between people with a borderline that are untreated versus people with borderline who have gone through treatment. So if I'm making that distinction right off the bat without even being prompted, how is that painting everybody with the same brush? You know, I mean, this sort of thing is like super frustrating to me, and I have been around the block when it comes to this. I've seen things that people have said and done that are just ridiculous and horrifying, and I've unfortunately learned all about what borderline personality disorder is. Here they come. And felt like an idiot when I didn't recognize that there was something going on before, because you know what, as a person with avoidant personality disorder, I take the blame. And somebody with borderline comes over and is like, okay, you know, yeah, I know I did this thing and it's like really messed up, but you know, you were the one that made me do it. And I'm like, okay. So I you know, that's just how it was. Never dawned on me that maybe what I thought meant anything because somebody was telling me something completely different. Didn't make any sense. Didn't make any logical sense whatsoever. But I was like, oh, you told me this. Okay, yeah, I believe it. And I don't want people with avoidant personality disorder, especially the ones that are just starting out, that don't know what's going on, that have maybe gone to these forums and been completely screwed around in every which way because they aren't avoidant people on those forums. They are borderline people messing with people on those forums. Or they've listened to experts. Apparently, it's still listed as the most effective therapy is CBT. Which, guess what, does not work with somebody with avoidant personality disorder. You can't see them anyway. Because you might work on it, and actually it looks like you're making progress. And you'll push that pendulum as far as you've ever seen in your life, and then boom, it's going to swing back, and it's going to swing back even worse. CBT doesn't work. It can work temporarily, but the bounce back is worse than where you started. So, no, it doesn't work. So, the experts and the therapists don't know either, because they don't do, proper testing. So I apparently lately have been distracted by the cats when I'm on these walks, and I'm not really saying what I want to say. So, here it is. Here's the question. Should I allow people who don't have avoidant personality disorder to run rampant on this, in my channel's comments, and let them say whatever and not correct them and not basically stand up for myself when they say crazy stuff? When they tell me that I don't have a heart, and I don't know what compassion is, and, I get it. They don't like hearing the effect that people with borderline personality disorder have on people with avoidant personality disorder. But it wasn't just one person who screwed me over. I think everyone in the world knows one person who screwed them over because they had borderline personality disorder. Unless you're a hermit, everybody's been mistreated by them. I've been mistreated by multiples, and I've heard stories of people that have been mistreated by multiples, and I've seen them in action. And I've talked to therapists who all say, I mean, I've had therapists who actually sit down because I know about personality disorder, and they're just like, they don't even wait for me to say anything. They're just the first thing like, oh my God, I had my borderline client today. I'm like, oh, you have my sympathies. And they're like, oh, thank you. These are my therapists. Okay? So I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass. Oh, it's too bad you cannot see the stars. There's a million of them, but this camera doesn't pick it up at all. One of the benefits of living in the country. Come up over the hill and there's stars everywhere and a plane. Can you see the plane? But you can't see the stars. Sorry. Anyway, so what do you think? And I'm not interested in, I mean, no offense, but I'm not interested in, it's your channel, you can do what you want. I'm dead serious. Am I too harsh? Should I let them say whatever? There goes Percy up the hill. They love to run up the hill. Don't know what he's doing. Here comes Perry hopping along. Come on, Pear. Don't get stuck back there. I'll have to come back out and hunt you down. He wants me to carry him. Okay. I guess that's the sign that I need to stop. I said this is going to be a short video anyway. Well, what do you think? Am I too harsh because I'm not letting borderline people, quote, have their, their say without correcting them? Am I too harsh by pointing out just how difficult they make people with avoidant personality disorder make their life? I mean, I will straight up say their behavior is toxic to somebody with avoidant personality disorder. Oh my God. No, but they suffer. Doesn't matter that they make other people suffer. And I keep coming up with metaphors to try to explain, okay, well, in this other situation where somebody is basically doing the exact same thing, would you give them a pass? Totally ignore that. Completely ignore that. I don't know. I'm rambling. I don't need to respond to any comments. I can just shut them off as far as I'm concerned. I mean, leave them there for you to say, and I can shut off my part, and I won't ever see a comment. And then people can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I won't have any, I won't go and take out the porn sites that people link. I try to do that, but I don't have to. I can just let it turn into Wild West. I'm sure the people with borderline personality disorder are going to say, well, you're restricting our freedom of speech. Guess what? I'm not. I don't delete their comments. I just respond to their comments. Tell them exactly what I think of their comment. And they don't like it. Anyway, I've rambled, and Perry needs to get picked up because he's walked too far on his poor little 3 legs. So I'm going to end it.